We're looking this week at number 6 in the series on the book of Acts, and this is the ministry of Peter. I'm standing here among the ruins of many of the great palaces of Rome, Caesar Augustus and Tiberius and even Flavius and so on. And Peter would have seen some of this when he visited Rome, as we believe that he did. He writes one of his epistles, 1 Peter, referring to Babylon, which of course was the code word for Rome, to the early Christians of the time. So let's think back a little bit about Peter. Look at his ministry there in Acts 9 through 12. Story of him being in Lydda and in Joppa, raising of Dorcas, otherwise known as Tabitha by her Hebrew name, the one who did such good works, helping other people, the poor, the needy, the sick, and so on. And then moving on to Cornelius, that wonderful story of that sheet let down out of heaven, full of unclean animals, and the voice from heaven that says, "Rise, Peter, kill and eat." And he says, "No, Lord, I'm not going to do that." That was terribly offensive to him as an observant Jew. He wasn't going to do anything like that because that was against his principles, against his religion, as it were. And now we move to the Pantheon as we continue the story of Peter. Remember his experience there in Antioch and his escape from prison at the hands of the angel. And then eventually, of course, he does come to Rome, where I'm standing now. And maybe he looked at the various gods around Rome and clearly, just like Paul there in Athens, said, "We have such a better picture of God. Let me share it with you." And then, of course, his ministry in the end does finish. He is arrested, he's condemned to death, and yet when he comes to be crucified, as the legend goes, he says, "I don't want to be crucified as Jesus was. Please crucify me upside down." He is. That's the legend, that's the tradition, but it does sound very much like Peter, doesn't it? And we believe this was under Nero, that persecutor of the church. And yet here in Rome, the church under Constantine becomes the state religion, and we see the progression thereon. But let's focus on Peter, that one who denied his Lord, who came back, who wept over his betrayal, and to whom Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." And in his ministry, isn't that exactly what Peter did? He fed the Lord's sheep. Let's remember Peter, his ministry, as we think about this in the book of Acts. And may we determine in our own lives that we want to be just like Peter in his ministry, sharing the good news of God with everyone, Jew, Gentile, whoever, even to all these believers in these foreign gods, thinking about who the true God really is like. May God bless you as you study.